Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Statistical and Geospatial Inside YouTube. We are meeting in lesson number 11, which is identification of type 1 error in directional hypothesis. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify type 1 error in a directional hypothesis. What is type 1 error? This is the rejection of a true null hypothesis. It is also known as false positive. For example, a study was carried out to test whether a new developed drug for hypertension can lower blood pressure compared to placebo, which is ineffective for blood pressure. Hypothesis formulated. The null hypothesis states that the new drug will have no significant effect on blood pressure compared to placebo, which means that the mean blood pressure of the individual that took placebo is equal to the mean blood pressure of those individuals that took the new drug. However, the alternative hypothesis states that the new drug will significantly reduce blood pressure compared to the placebo, which means that the mean blood pressure of those individuals that took placebo is greater than the mean blood pressure of those individuals that took the new drug, because the purpose of the new drug is to lower blood pressure. A study was conducted to test the hypothesis, and the result came out clearly that the drug did cause a significant reduction in blood pressure. However, the null hypothesis was true, that the new drug does not have effect on blood pressure. What could be the possible explanation for type 1 error in the context of this example? Here, the observed reduction in blood pressure was due to two reasons. It could have been attributed by random chance, in which sampling variation and probability and significance level would be responsible for that. And the second reason could have been improper research techniques. Random chance, sampling variation. Sampling variation is the natural difference that occurs in sample statistics. For example, mean, when multiple random samples are taken from the same population. This variation is expected because each sample is a different random subset of the population, and the results will not be identical. For example, taking two different samples of students' heights from the same school will likely to result in two different average heights. In hypothesis testing, researchers use a sample of data to make inference about the entire population. Due to random sampling variation, it is possible by chance to select a sample that appears to show significant effect, even if there is no real effect in the overall population. Probability and the significance level. The likelihood of making type 1 error due to chance is usually determined by the pre-specified significance alpha level, and this is typically set at 5%. An alpha level of 5% means that even if the null hypothesis is true, there is still 5 chance of obtaining results that are extreme enough to be considered statistically significant, leading to type 1 error, which is the rejection of a true null hypothesis. How to reduce the influence of type 1 error? How to reduce the influence of random chance on type 1 error? This one could happen by using the following. First, choosing a smaller significance alpha level. An alpha level is defined as a threshold in statistical tests that represents the maximum acceptable risk of making type 1 error. Therefore, reducing or choosing a smaller significant level means that we are reducing the likelihood of making type 1 error. So instead of having 5% chance of making type 1 error, we're going to have 1% chance of having type 1 error. The second method by which we can reduce the influence of random chance on type 1 error is to increase sample size. This will provide more precise estimate of populations through characteristics. Public health concern. As a result of type 1 error, the public is told to take an ineffective drug that is potentially leading to financial cost, side effects, missed opportunity to use a truly effective treatment. Thank you to attend and participate in this lesson. See you in the next one.